My mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray and we are back at it again with another bag talk. Make sure to hit the like on the way in. Make sure, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe. Don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to hit the bell notification and turn on. Make sure it's set to all on so that way you get notified as soon as I drop these. I premiere them early in the morning for you guys. Catch you on the way to work. Get your mind right. These drop on Thursdays, going into Bag Fortification Friday. For those of you who have some of the non-traditional banks, you're getting the bag deposited today. Because on some of my accounts, on some of my direct deposits, I get it on Thursday, sometimes Wednesday. Depends on how quick they hit that send button. But today we're going to be talking about putting debt repayment on AutoPilot using yieldmax. So now that we're knee deep into the full-on assault on my personal debt load, which started out at about $32,000. Which, I mean, it depends. Like I always say, you know, you got to prepare for the worst, hope for the best is kind of my ideology. I am a avid, strong offensive is better than having to work out a defense. So I'm constantly in attack mode financially. That's the reason I named this Future Financial Strategies, because we're not doing the boomer play. We're not just going to buy the S&P 500 and hope that we survive till 70 so that we can retire at some point, hopefully, and then see the market go down and then have to go to Walmart or go get a job putting fries in the bag. We don't want to do that. So my ideology is I'm constantly in attack mode. I'm constantly using all the tools available that are at my disposal. And, you know, at my income level, not making over six figures a year, not getting to the bag, not wanting to fix my income. Actually, I do want to fix my income. It's not that I don't want to fix my income. It's just I don't want to, as far as like going and racking up hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt that you're probably not going to ever be able to pay back, to join that cycle, to play that game, when in most cases I'm worth more than those people who aren't on YouTube making money off of YouTube telling you to go get into debt to not be on YouTube. It just doesn't make sense to me. The math does not shake on that. And, you know, I, at least in the interim, am enjoying what I do enough to continue doing it. And I have a trajectory on how to get out. So that just wasn't the play for me. I mean, I worked in a restaurant and service industry from 15 to 25. I was working with people who were doing the same job that I was doing that were $80,000 in debt at the time. Because at the time, college wasn't 200 bazillion gazillion dollars. But I mean, seeing somebody who's $80,000 in debt and we're doing the same thing and I'm not in debt, I'm like, why would I go do that to just end up back here doing this? Because I was good at that job too. And it was the same when I got into bartending. A bunch of very highly educated people that were so smart and so in debt and making the same money that I was making. We're doing the same job, except for they were $100,000 in debt at the time. It just didn't make sense. So fast forward, I'm doing my play, and none of those people are going to be retiring in 24 months. They're going to have the option to retire in 24 months, and I'm going to be able to do either or, maybe both. Who knows? But it just doesn't, like, the math didn't math. So I'm also not a big automation person. Like, I just now started using direct deposits to kind of force myself into some positions. I like manually moving money around. It's something that I actually do very much enjoy. I like going through. I like seeing those bills. I like moving that big chunk of money over, seeing the deposit hit. I like hitting the buy button. I like doing that. I've just really dialed in and in tune with my finances in the space that I've always been in. That's what I've done. But, there are ways to make things easier because sitting around, that's an extra 30 minutes of my day just distributing my paycheck. So now I have it to where the majority of it is distributed to where it needs to go. And I actually kind of like it. So once I started, automating a little bit here and there, I got into looking at how to automate paying off my debt. And so I was like, normally what we do is, um, you know, just pay it as it goes. The distribution comes in, move the distribution. So now you're doing that once a week because we're shifting over it heavily into weekly. So we're about to have like a weekly amount that comes in there. And then you've got your monthly amount at the end of the month. So you got to figure out what that is. And for me, I did not want to I don't want to have to mess with it every week. Like I like doing it, but I don't want to do it every week. So I was thinking, I was like, yo, like what's the easiest way to potentially do this? And going down that rabbit hole, I was looking, I was like, man, like over the major dip on Misty in the months prior, so over July, we were just tapping that margin button a bunch. I'm like, cool, a few $1,000s here, a couple of $100 there, $1,000 here. And I was just letting the dividends and direct deposits just pay it back. I was like fronting myself ahead of the dividend distribution. And I came to so like after going through that and, we wiped the margin out, I was like, you know what? We should really just probably do this to pay off the debt because then I can just do it in chunks. And so that's what I'm doing. So we still have our tax liability. So I'm working on that. But what we're doing is the system that I've worked out is I just take out basically at the end of the month roughly $2,500. The reason it's at present $2,500 and not just $2,000 flat is because while I'm taking the chunks of money out to pay off my what's it called? My tax bill, that's what the extra 500 is for. So we're doing that, and we're doing a chunk of 2,500, which we'll probably just keep doing it at that rate. And that keeps our margin sitting around after it's already paid around $2,000. So we have like a floating $2,000 that's in there for Charles Schwab and the Charles Schwab account. And we're just pulling that chunk of money out, taking a chunk out of the card that we're currently paying down, and you just rinse and repeat. And what that does is it shifts the debt from the credit card into my margin account. The margin account doesn't count against my credit score. So there's a twofold benefit here because I'm taking actual debt that's like going against me and moving it into a space where it's still debt, but it's not going against me. The other thing is, as those distributions come in, it just deletes the debt. And so like it's almost like I consider it like a garbage disposal for debt. Like my margin account and my primary portfolio is a garbage disposal for debt because like you put it in there and then the distributions just starts eating away at it. It's like a bunch of little piranhas in there. They're just picking at it. And as it gets down, I pull another chunk out of it and move it over. So as we're and this also still allows me to continue to build the position because like if I don't want the direct deposits going towards the debt, it goes in there, margin goes down a little bit, and I can just buy on margin, back up the shares that I need to make those positions work, which is cool. And then at any given time, there's never more than I'd say around $5,500 in there. Portfolio is worth $30,000. So like if I needed to, I could force liquidate it. And I've still got about $30,000 left in there because we're sitting at around 40 right now. It was up to 50. I was feeling really good. We got to wait for the market to go back up. But I'm always well over collateralized. And I know a lot of people will be like, well, why don't you just like put all of it over there? And I'm like, well, I could, but I don't want to risk being margin called. Like I want something that like if I take a 50% hit, I'm still not margin called. I don't want to have to worry about that. Also, if I was going to pull debt like that, I would honestly use it to just bulk up the account and then let it garbage disposal down that and then rinse and repeat. I just don't want to do that right now. We're focused on getting the debt out of the way because once the debt's out of the way, I will have so much more cash flow, which actually is important. It'll also allow me to redeploy some other debt tools. The other thing that I want to give a caveat, since this is on a Back Talk episode, and those of you might not watch Debt Crusher, is this was not just straight consumer debt. A good chunk of it was I was using cash advances to build out some of my portfolios and speed up some of my investing. I also used it for some of my cryptocurrency stuff. So that's the reason for the lion's share of it. And then I had a major surgery, which added an additional almost $10,000 to the debt. One of the bonuses here is because people are like, oh, well, like well, I'm not paying full bore interest rates. I have two cards, one that's getting paid off that kind of holds utilities. And then the other one is my daily driver now, which is my Robinhood, which is building up points, which is going to be awesome. They've got some pretty cool incentives in there that we're going to talk about when I do my Robinhood breakdown. But outside of those cards that are cycling debt, which is like I'm paying off most or all of it every single month, the other debt is sitting in 0% interest, which is the other reason I'm not pulling all of it over, because I'm not paying interest on it right now. So it's just sitting there. It's kind of in stasis. And as we're chunking through it, I'm putting it in a space to where for a month or two, it's pulling interest. It's lower interest than what the credit card was, but like also I don't want to have to deal with that, So until these cards get close to where they're about to start charging interest again, I am not in any type of rush to move them in bulk over. Now, you might see some bulk moves on Debt Crusher as they're getting towards the end of that, and I'll just go, hey, we've chunked it down to whatever. If it's like $6,000, I'm just going to pay it off. So that way I don't have to hit the interest and just have that sit over there, and then the garbage disposal will just do its thing for a few months, and it'll do it over there, and then I'll just maintain the other balances moving forward. But we've got a lot of tools at our disposal, and I do use them. So like it wasn't just like I was out tricking off the money. Like it was debt tied, and my portfolio value is above the debt total. So like we did win on that. The portfolio is also producing the income to pay the debt. So we won on that front also. Like I get it. Oh, you're paying those interest payments. Like I'm also getting paid. I'm also growing a portfolio on my net worth. So those things are the priorities for me, is growing my net worth, growing my income, and I am using debt to do that. A lot of people leverage to the hilt to buy houses. Like I'm leveraging to buy assets as well. I'm just using tools that conventionally are marketed to working class and poor people as things that they can use to flex on Instagram. And I'm not using it to flex on Instagram outside of showing the portfolio and flexing that way, but I'm not buying things. And so being able to just use that margin, and honestly, I almost want to flip flop my portfolios and move my Charles Schwab portfolio over to Robinhood and have the Robinhood and have Schwab be the lifestyle portfolio that I'm actively building, because the margin percentage over on Robinhood is only 5%, which means that like if I was running this play in Robinhood, it would be even less expensive. And the first $1,000 they give you for free. They have some enticements over there. And once the lifestyle portfolio gets a little bit like, we're about to shift focus over to the lifestyle portfolio in a big way, because that portfolio in and of itself, it's just like, man, like the opportunities that I've got over there. Also, the way that I built it out, since it's a Robinhood themed portfolio, has been doing amazing. So like, there's also that. Also, my maintenance ratios are super low over there. So there's also that. Like, it's such a, I tell you, once that portfolio is up and running, I think probably about the $10,000 mark. We've got about roughly, give or take, $4,000, $5,000 more dollars to get in there before we start hitting those marks. That portfolio is going to be a beast, and I'm very excited about it. But the Charles Schwab, it's doing what it's doing. It's being the garbage disposal. We're making the adjustments over there also, and I'm excited about that as well. And yeah, that's what I've got. So basically, the gist of it, just in summation, what we're doing is we're taking chunks out of our margin over in Charles Schwab. We're converting that into cash, moving it into the bank account, dispersing it to pay off the credit card bills, which then morphs that debt into a different location, because we're taking debt from the Charles Schwab and then using that debt to pay off. It's like taking a HELOC, except for your house never actually pays the HELOC itself. And as we're moving forward, we're going to be doing a lot more of that. It's kind of, debt crusher episodes are going to be pretty straightforward. We'll be just talking about how big of a chunk of the debt we got to take off that month based on the distributions that were received. And yeah, things are starting to get interesting. Ball's starting to maybe roll downhill. It kind of feels like it. I'm feeling pretty good about the direction that things are going. We're hitting our metrics, and we're kind of putting it on autopilot, because I don't have to worry about Herculean efforts to maintain stuff. Because like, as you start paying credit cards off, you don't have to go back and visit those cards really, except for whatever utility or bills that you put on to keep it active. And I do recommend doing that, because you want to keep your cards active if you're going to have them. Dormant cards do not help you, generally speaking. So like, put like a bill. Doesn't mean go max out all your cards. Just put a bill, like a $14, $20, put your Netflix on it. Keep it active. Because at this stage of the game, I'm not fully capable of self-funding. So it is very pertinent that I have good credit, because I need those tools to help leapfrog me forward. Because when you don't make six figures, apparently you're not supposed to be able to do anything. I'm doing a lot of things that the gurus out there say that are literally impossible for you to do if you're making under six figures. And, you know, I'd say we might touch six figures this year. We'll see after these portfolio optimizations. But I mean, a good chunk of that's me. A good chunk of that's my portfolio. A good chunk of that's me going hunting. So, and, you know, I've got to be able to continue to hunt. We want to hunt as efficiently as possible. So that's kind of the reason we're documenting the journey. Let you guys know what I'm doing. Obviously, this isn't financial advice. This is just a working class stiff that doesn't make six figures, that had $30,000 in debt, that has portfolios that are over, I'd say my portfolio worth is most of my net worth. So almost, I'd say like $200,000 in portfolio assets, built, never making over six figures during the process. So I did this on a median income. I'm very, very much bottom end of middle class. So take that for what you will. I just make some different decisions than most people, and I'm willing to use tools that most people use to flex on Instagram. I use them to build portfolios so that I don't have to work for forever, and I can financially recover from my vacations and surgeries. And so, yeah, so that's where we're at. This has been another great bag talk. I hope you guys got some value out of it. Tap in with me down in the comments, because I do look at them, I do read them, and I do respond, with the exception of the bots. The bots, you only get one chance to do that, and then you're hidden on the channel forever. So I banish you all to the shadow realm with the utmost disrespect. But everybody else, those of you who are in the wolf pack, you guys know, like, I'll get around to it. It'd probably take a couple of days, but we do that. You can also tap in with me over on Blossom. If you're not on Blossom, you should be on Blossom. Like, it's pretty awesome. Blossom is pretty awesome. That's freaking awesome. You just look me up as Reckless Ray. You can leave the dinero off on that, and you can find me over on Blossom. It's an investment community, really awesome. I can't say enough good stuff about it. My primary portfolio, if you want to take a look at that, real-time updates, it lets you know what I'm holding. One of the caveats is we go over my portfolio. I show my portfolio once a month. Over on Blossom, it just pulls all of the data. So it's got everything that I'm holding, including in portfolios that are not specifically for me. They're for my grand nieces and then soon to be grandnephew. I've got some catch up to do on my grandnephew's one, but I'm building these portfolios out for, I don't have kids yet. So for the next generation, or the generation that I believe that I can have a legitimate influence on, I am doing that myself. I'm taking upon myself. I wasn't asked to. This isn't like, oh, everybody's coming hat in hand. Like, no, I'm just doing it of my own volition, and it'll be my way to kind of impose my financial will on the future generation, hopefully have a little bit of an effect on the trajectory of our family. Overall, beyond just me being straight and me being good myself, I would like to have us start having a different narrative in my family, and this is my way of influencing it. So we've got that, but Blossoms, I like it. It's all investment, verified portfolios. My portfolio is verified on there. The Robinhood is not yet. When I upgrade to pro, and right now I'm just not in the space to do that. We're focused on paying off debt. We can't be adding bills. I'll get the Robinhood over there as well, so that way we can have the full scope of all my portfolios. And but there's means to tap in with me. It's down in the comments after you hit that subscribe, because I want to make one last invite for you to join the wolf pack, because there's always more room, and we're not trying to get rich over here by ourselves. So until next week, people, this has been another great bag talk. It's your boy Reckless Ray and I'm out. Peace.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play, man, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.